Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Turner Warped Season 2, Episode number 4. We will be using mature language. If that's not okay for you, that's understandable. You should probably not listen to the words that are going to come out of our mouths then, because there will be just excessive profanity. And, that's just fuzzy.
Fucking what?
Exactly.
Isn't he Australian?
Yes. The broadcaster, excessive profanity, is Australian, yes.
Yes, he's lovely too.
So, you guys have made it up to the command deck with Scan. He is the science officer lieutenant, an android that has basically been the main senior officer that's been in contact with Dr. Icarus, talking about the aliens and the problem with the tachyon conduit that you believe is the reason why you guys are where you are. So when you guys make it to the command deck, and again, the command deck on this ship is way bigger than your sort of like, I think standard like Star Trek kind of bridge that most people kind of have pictured in their heads. It's probably a lot closer to like, say, like a Star Destroyer kind of size command deck. There's a shit ton of people in here. There's probably like, I'd say at least 50 people, something like that, on the command deck. And there's an area for like the senior officers and stuff. You can see like... You can see Commander Velest talking to several other officers, kind of going over like different plans and whatnot. On the communications terminal, I should say the communications area, because you have like there's a bunch of comms officers and stuff that have sort of have like holographic displays. There's not like a big view screen like there is in like Star Trek. Like I'd say there's like view screens that are sort of like holographic displays that pop up where the communication officers are stationed. They kind of have like their own section. That's where Commander Velest is with several other officers. And as you guys go in, you finally get the first glimpse of these aliens on the holographic display. You can see that they are... very similar to gorillas in the way that their facial structure and body structure is kind of set up. You can basically, it's kind of like the way we've got our cameras set up, so you can kind of see like from like the upper portions of their chest up to their heads. They're very wide, very very wide though, like very very wide frames. Probably like double, like a standard like kind of like human or even like an Ogron kind of frame. They're very wide people, and you can't really tell what their height is, but in terms of their face, their eyes are probably set like a bit wider apart, I'd say, than like kind of like a standard gorilla. Their eyes are kind of closer like to the sides of their face, which again are kind of like a lot wider than you'd expect. Their nostrils are probably like below their eyes, kind of like where their cheeks are. So they kind of have like an odd sort of facial structure, like it's kind of spaced out a lot more. Their nostrils are kind of like really wide, and they're like right about here, like on their cheeks. They have like very like furry appearances too, like the fur is kind of growing all over their face. Basically just their eyes and like where their nostrils aren't really covered with fur, but otherwise they're just covered in fur. They appear to be wearing kind of like simplistic kind of clothing. They don't seem super concerned with fashion or anything. And like it's very nondescript. You can basically just kind of hear the communicators kind of talking like on the in the comms officer area, where you can hear like occasional words translated into like galactic common. Just like things like peace and
No danger.
they have a very odd way of speaking as well. When you kind of like hear the translator pick up, it's very jarring because they don't sort of have the same kind of cadence and rhythm to the way that they speak that we do. It's kind of a very lots of changes in the pace of the way that they talk and such. And yeah, you're just kind of picking up like occasional words here and there. Stuff like peace, no harm, attacked, do not wish to attack. Stuff like that. You guys come in. Scan says, Commander Velest. Yes. Officer Scan. I had a request and a possible bit of assistance. The passenger, the crew member known as Simon, he has stated that he may be able to help us with translating. To be more precise, to help us understand what the aliens are trying to communicate. He can sense their feelings. Well, I have no problem with that personally. What about you? And she motions towards a human male that pretty much all of you would recognize as diplomat Vasily Lomenchenko. He's basically the human diplomat that is kind of in charge of the human population aboard the ship. Who is he? Simon, can you step forward, please?
I like shuffle forward, my head down.
And who are you?
I'm Freak.
I was told your name was Simon.
Yeah, it is, but people call me Freak.
That is peculiar. And why should I let you do this? This is an important and historic first meeting with these peoples.
Because if they're lying, I can tell. Because your emotions don't lie. You know?
I'm not understanding. What are you saying exactly?
When I talk to people, I can tell how they feel. And if they want to hurt us, then I can, you know.
And how do you do this exactly?
I'm real special.
He looks at Commander Velest. Commander, surely we have better opportunities than this? I feel as if this is a waste of time. Surely the other officers that are here are more capable than a random civilian person. Perhaps some of my entourage can be brought in. I think that is better.
If I way, sir, he can also make people's heads explode with his mind. That's a quite useful skill, right?
And who is this?
Oh, I'm Betty Boop. I'm with the doctor.
Doctor. And where is this doctor?
He's right there. Right, doctor, turn your hearing aid on.
I didn't hear a word you guys said because I threw my hearing aid away because you broke it. I'm not with you guys. Sorry.
All right. Where'd he go? Bugger. Bloody doctor. Wait, anyway, I'm with the doctor, but he's not here right now. So I'm security.
Commander, how did these people get aboard your command deck? This doesn't appear very safe. Do you simply allow everyone to come aboard the command deck? I assure you, no. Mr. Lomachenko? I think that maybe it is best if they are removed. This is my command deck, Mr. Lomachenko. I will decide who is removed, sir. Very well. But I will warn you, Commander. Everyone is watching you very closely. How you handle this situation will determine your future. Do not forget this. I'm well aware, Mr. Lomachenko. Now, if you'll excuse me, we have some new aliens to speak to. First contact is very important, sir. He kind of turns away. He's got some of his entourage there. They're just kind of like nearby the communications section. Commander Valeste walks over to you, Simon, and she says, "Now, what were you saying?"
What was I feeling off of Lomachenko? Was it all anger?
I don't know
Maybe a
what to
little
make
bit of disgust, or
I don't know what to make you roll, because I feel like there has to be a roll to see like how well you read people. Because I mean, you read them, but you know, maybe you just don't read them that well sometimes. What is your what does the skill say exactly? Because I don't want to make it so you just don't use it, but like
empath. You can sense strong emotions in those with whom you converse.
Okay, so strong emotions that you're getting from Lomachenko are, I feel like he's probably giving off like a strong sense of fear, for sure. There's definitely a lot of fear coming off of him, and also a lot of trying to classify which emotion this would be. He's definitely feeling like opportunistic. You're muted.
Yeah, so maybe a little. It's like a flavor of excitement, right? He's excited at the opportunity, and he knows he's got something coming up. I wouldn't trust him. I like point at his back. He's really scared, and he's trying to hide it. And then there's something else, and it's.
He seems like a complete tosser to me, to be honest with you.
I did not see him throw anything, Commander. I believe that Miss Bahoop's statement is inaccurate. Did you see him throw anything?
Oh, bugger me, sideways. Right.
Yeah, don't trust him.
Yeah, it's colloquialism. It means
Commander.
he seems like a tosser. Means he seems like an unpleasant person.
But yeah, if I meet the aliens, then I should be able to feel what they're feeling, like I did with him. But hopefully they're nice.
How exactly does it work? Are you able to do this through the communicator?
No, I haven't really tried it before, but I think I gotta be in person for it to work. Mostly. If you can say in person with whatever they are. If they're persons. But I gotta be close to them. I think.
Perhaps we'll decide on a position. If we are able to bring them aboard the ship and give them a tour, you can be placed nearby and see if you are able to sense anything from them.
Yeah. I guess.
Simon, they cannot tell when you do this, can they? Because that could be perceived as invasive.
I don't think so, cause it's mostly picking up what they put out rather than going in
That
and
is good.
taking things, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause when you're happy or sad or scared or angry, it makes like ripples. And
So it's like waves, and you pick up these waves.
yeah.
So
kinda.
you like the motion of the ocean then?
I don't know what you mean.
Never mind. I was just making a dirty joke. God, you people.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, Commander, if I can tell if they're angry or bloodthirsty or anything, or just scared or happy, or I can tell.
Very well. I will attempt to integrate you into the tour somehow. Perhaps you can ask a question or something. We'll figure it out. Officer Scan, if you could be so kind, we have more work to do. If you'll excuse me. She steps away. Scan goes with her.
What do we do now?
We think we ought to get the hell out of here before somebody decides to give us some shitty duties or something, quite literally. Quick, back to the lab. Come on.
Okay.
Right. Don't mind me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys head out of the lab. Sure. Okay, so, Nova, as you're about to leave, I think that you're approached by Technical Lieutenant Wynn.
Okay.
He approaches and says, Marine,
So,
what are you doing here with all of these people?
sir,
How come you're not on patrol?
I sort of am. Pop, he is my direct commander at the moment, and he has informed me that this group you see here, and I gesture to those folks, that they are to be guarded at the moment, and this is top priority for me.
She's guarding our bodies, she is. Oh, yes.
I am doing this, and I'm also guarding the science lab, which they work, and there are 2 Marines posted there at the moment guarding the empty lab. It is that important.
Yeah, she's doing a real good job.
Oi, right.
Thank you.
We saved her life as well.
Just kind of looks at you and says, "Good then." He just, you know, he gives you like one of those like, okay, kind of looks. You know what I mean? And Nova, he kind of says in your ear, I need you to work on another assignment for me when you have time.
Lieutenant Wynn, I will report back to you as soon as I am free.
Very well. On your way.
Thank you, sir. Have
Dismissed.
a good day.
He just kind of says dismissed and throws you a salute.
Right, and I'm gonna take the rear, as it were, as we head back to the lab and just kind of keep my eyes out.
Okay.
So Nova, did you get a new assignment? Can we not be in the labs anymore? Maybe.
I don't know. He whispered it, and he did not give me details. I do not know if you are involved. He did not tell me anything.
I mean, I could just tag along if you
Perhaps there would be need for you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm real handy.
Betty's just walking behind you too, just kind of like chuckling to herself, just like, we get there, Will.
Oh, he's real handsy, isn't he?
I bet he'd like to tag along with you. I bet he would. I bet he'd like to tag something. This just constant under the breath lewd muttering. It's just like subliminal.
Lewd
Right,
muttering.
it's always happening there.
Oh, I bet.
Can I have fixed my hearing aid before they get back?
I don't know. Can you?
I have electronics. I have engineering.
It's definitely going to be electronics. Okay, so give me a logic plus electronics. Hey, 21. Yeah, you managed to turn the resistor back on for the maximum for the volume control on the hearing aid.
And I put it in, and I hear some lewd mutterings.
I mean, they're nowhere nearby, so I mean, this is just.
It's got a record function. You didn't. Yet.
I mean, mutterings for Betty is, you know, a cacophony for most other people. She's not exactly, you know, discreet.
Probably on ship comms. Oh, I'd bring up her rear.
Feedback and everything. Just like, right, bring back her. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I'd gloop that, if you know what I mean.
Engineer, can you stop pushing those buttons? Oh, I'd push their buttons.
Yeah, just add a megaphone, like attached to her mouth, and then you got like a Betty in a nutshell. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you guys have headed out. Dr. Icarus, what are you doing like while everybody left? What's
After I fixed my hearing aids, I'm trying to break down the DNA of these different not species, sub races, whatever they are.
There's sort of subspecies. It's like the differences, but it's the thing that you probably would liken it the most to is like different breeds of dogs.
Yeah.
Like except because of the intricacies of their DNA and the complexity of it, like these breeds can be so fucking different and still be technically the same species, right? Like it's crazy.
I want to find common ways to combat them. Like we use the alkaline stuff, see if that's still a viable thing.
Okay. So,
and maybe postulates some other types of breeds that could exist.
So like look for the common differences in the different samples and stuff you've got.
Okay. So give me a biology plus your logic. 14. Okay.
Just below average for a 5d6. That's what they call me, Mr. Average.
Oh man. Okay. So, what you're able to find is that there is no common vulnerability between these species, from what you can tell, and the pieces that you found indicate that there are not two different subspecies of these creatures aboard the ship. You find pieces from 3.
3?
Mm-hmm.
Can I analyze this new specimen?
Yeah, so what you've come across with this new specimen is that the piece that you found, basically, that you sort of separated out from the others, you found one piece from one of these other ones. And I feel like the piece that you found is sort of has like an odd sort of carapace to it. It's a lot less. That's the piece that you find. It's like a part of the carapace. From what you can tell, it is a lot smaller than the other bugs that you saw. It's probably you find like a decent size of the carapace, and the size that you find, it's probably giving you a rough idea of the size of this thing. It's about the size of like a baseball, or like somebody's fist. And what you're understanding from this carapace is that different from the other ones, the carapace is a lot more flexible. Like it's not like as rigid. And when you're running tests on it, you see that the carapace is made up of like almost looks like scales. Like it's got a kind of weird look to it. Like the carapace has like sort of like these layered. It has like a layered, scaly look to it. And I forget what it is in God, hold on. I gotta actually Google this because I want to say the right thing. It's important. So, inside the carapace, there are nanocrystals. that rearrange, which lends itself to the carapace blending in with its environment.
Fucking called it! God damn, I called that. Eureka!
Fish.
Dr. Eureka?
Yes. What can I do for you?
What do you look into this mic? What do you think here? Yes, yes. Look at the crystalline structure of the carapace.
Oh. Well, isn't that interesting?
Camouflage, just like I postulated.
It appears to have some sort of carapace that is comprised of nanocrystals. They seem to rearrange. Interesting. Similar to a chameleon.
Yes, yes. I knew it. I knew it all along. Of course.
What's up there?
I want to emergency channel call. I guess Scan is probably my best contact. That's who I would tell important stuff to, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. That would be a good way to go about things.
Can I go like a priority message? As in, this is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely code things for priority. Absolutely. So yeah, you activate a priority message for Scan. Pretty much immediately, you get. This is Officer Scan.
Scan, yes, Dr. Dick. Bit of a problem. We discussed our friend Simon could sense, or he said there were more bugs on the ship. He may actually be right. I have just found carapace from a third alien species, subspecies, that has some sort of nanocrystals, chameleonic parts to their carapace and could be invisible to the naked eye.
That is very troubling, Doctor. Please send your data to my station on the command deck immediately.
Send that off.
Okay. Your investigation into this is most appreciated, Doctor. I will let Commander Velez know immediately. This is extremely serious.
I would suggest if there are any more chunks found aboard the ship, they should be brought directly to me, just in case there are more of these things that we do not know about.
Very well. I will get right... Whoop! 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 Excuse me, Doctor. It appears that an alert has been sounded.
Of course, yes.
I must see to it immediately. Officer Lieutenant Scan out. Doot.
Fascinating. I never knew such things could be.
Yes, so the alarm starts to go off on the ship again, and you're not getting any. There's no notifications or anything that are basically like coming over comms. So Nova, Simon, and Betty, you guys are sort of, I'd say, like halfway back to the research area of the ship when one of the doors opens, and we'll say this is probably from the barracks. You guys hear gunfire.
Oh, buggery fuck biscuits.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It should be phaser fire. So you're like a.
How far
Well.
off does it sound?
Huh?
How far off does it sound?
So one of the doors opens as you're walking past the Marine barracks, and you can hear like somebody screaming like, "Get him Get him off! And out crawling from the doorway, you see like this carpet of fist-size bugs. They kind of have a sort of like slender appearance, almost like a ferret, but they've got like centipede kind of legs to them. So they come like charging in, and they're like all wiggly. Yeah, and they're just like crawling all over. One of the Marines kind of falls out of the doorway, and you can see like and the bugs just kind of like crawl all over him, and they're the same color as the floor, basically, like they're crawling on. And you can see like as they start to crawl on him, they start to change color to his uniform and stuff, and they start to like crawl up. And one of them just kind of like goes, and he just goes right into his mouth, and he's trying to like scrabble at his neck, just like clawing at his neck, leaving these like furrows like in his skin, and
I think I better not be laying eggs in there.
and yeah, the whole like floor is just covered in these bugs, and they just start to spread out from the door.
Or I suggest we leg it right now.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Right, let's go then. Back to the game. Security, anybody? There's a whole bunch of bugs here on the floor, and big boots and bug spray and fire and things, and yeah.
Yeah, I would boop pop right away. Actually, I wonder if I would go to Kotok straight away. Or Mac Leaner. Boop. Were we calling it priority message? Priority message. Major Kotok, priority message. Oh, my accent.
Accent. Where's she go? I don't know.
Priority message.
Okay. So yeah, you start to activate the priority message, and as you do, the Marine stands up.
Oh, fuck me.
I would literally be walking away from there as
I'm just like,
closing.
let's just right. So
Or running.
This like
let's go.
this very gloopy substance is it looks like viscous snot is kind of like pouring out of the sides of his mouth, and you can see like
I'm
his
gonna take a shot at him as I run. I'm just like, ah!
his like eyes are all wide and shit, like.
Oh God, zombies! Right, let's go.
And you take a shot at him?
As I'm running, I'm just gonna turn around and just be like. So it's not an aimed shot at all. It's literally just a terror. I'm just holding my gun, just going kind of thing.
Sure. So what's your normal attack roll for your weapon?
3d6.
3d6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so take a die away, so it's a 2d6. Because you're kind of not really aiming. It gets an 8. Okay, so yeah, the shot just like goes super wide, like. Yeah, and you just start hauling
running.
ass. Simon and Nova, what are you doing?
Running to the science lab, and as I send an emerge comms.
So these guys are
Kotok.
definitely between you and the science labs?
So are we blocked from getting out of here, or is there another way to run? Because I'd run whatever way was.
I mean, the way that you came.
Yeah, it's just like.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
180. Woo!
So you turn around and you start hauling ass, and yeah, Simon, you're doing the same?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, as you do this, you can hear the sound of these like bugs, like the sound of their legs, like all over the hall, and you hear this like really pained voice coming from this guy, this Marine. We'll call this Marine Jenkins. And you hear,
Yeah, running. And do I reach Kotak? Or I'm just gonna send a priority communication and let him know that the Marine barracks are overrun with insects and they are attacking the Marines.
yeah. So you tap the communicator and Kotak says, Major Kotak, make it fast! And you hear like,
Major Kotak, this is Nova. We have a big problem in the Marine labs. It's covered in bugs and people are dying.
Got bugs here too.
We need backup.
We all do. We're overrun.
and that's where we're going to take our next break. We'll be right back, everybody, for the final part of Season 2, Episode 4 of Turnover Warped. We'll be right back. Stay tuned in just a few minutes.